Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Music Shack with both
Ray!
and Jack. We're back.
Hello! We're so back. We are so back, and we took a short hiatus again. I mean, you guys are used to that by now.
Probably thought we were never coming
Yeah,
back.
just summer vacation things. Jack was
Hotness things
moving,
as well.
I was on vacation. There's a heat wave. Neither of us wanted to sit by our computer and record, not gonna lie.
It was
We
too
had
warm.
a time scheduled and we were both free and we were like, no, I'm not doing
Yeah.
that. I'm gonna sit in front of my fan with some ice cold water, whatever.
I'm gonna actually do that after this episode as well, so
Me too.
Yeah.
Me
Sounds
too.
like a vibe, I
But
can't
thank
lie.
you. Thank you for being patient with us. We took a little break. We came back. There was some new music released while we were out, a few things. But one of the things that was released while we were gone was LORDE's new album, Virgin, which is the focus of this episode. I thought it would be really cool to do an entire episode on this album because, it's LORDE. We love LORDE. And she only really releases albums every 4 years, so when she does release an album, it's a very big deal in the space. She has been, I would say, over LORDE's career, she's been very, like, her sound has always been new, and sometimes that's hard for people to digest initially, but oftentimes she sets the scene for, she's a trailblazer. That's the word I'm looking for. Like Melodrama, for example.
Beautiful album.
The pop synth sound in that album, like the electro pop kind of vibe in Melodrama, I would say. I wouldn't say that was a very popular sound in 2017 when Melodrama came out. The sound of Melodrama, and yet I feel like LORDE set the scene for that, and there were a lot of copycat albums after. And same with Pure Heroine. I think people think of LORDE, they think of nostalgia, because Pure Heroine and Melodrama, a lot of people forget about solar power, words. But in my opinion, that's also a very incredible album. And it fit for its time. And I think LORDE's whole discography tells a story, including her newest release, Virgin, which came out this year on June 27th. It's 11 tracks. We talked recently about What Was That on the podcast. I said I didn't like it. I said I might like it when I hear the whole album. And I think I was right about that. But before I go into all of my many thoughts, I want to hear what you think about this album, Jack.
Overall, as a whole, I think it's like, if I was to place it between, like, say, Solar Power and Melodrama, it's definitely, I'd probably put it second. I wonder who can guess what's first. I think,
Yes.
like, you were kind of right on saying, like, massively how, like, a lot of the genre shapes to, like, the way that LORDE goes with, like, their music, right? And I think, I don't know if this sound of, like, I'll massively catch on, because I think there's only certain people that could do it in the same styling that LORDE can do it.
Oh, yeah.
But I'd like to hear it. Like, I think it's an interesting sound. It wasn't, like, my favourite album of all time, but it's, like, the stuff that is on the record is, like, made me think about, like, a lot, and, like, how I maybe approach a new, like, style, because it's been a while, right? Like obviously Solar Power was what it was, but I honestly don't think there has been something within, like, sort of the pop space, like, just popular music space, that has, like, broken, like, the trends, or, like, the styling, like, the walls as much as, like, Melodrama did. So it's been, like, quite a while in the pop space where it's been like, okay, this is all quite samey, but it works, right? And that's why it's the same. But the sounds that are, like, developed on this, and, like, it was, so she's no longer working with Jack on this. She worked with Jack on Solar Power, which could be like a reflection of how they both, well, I guess Lorde mostly, how Lorde felt like that album came across, and obviously a lot of people didn't mess with it, which I think you're wrong. So just saying.
Okay, I'll go into that after you finish your thought.
And I think the change from Jack has allowed her to like sort of then just be like, fuck it, let's go for it. Like, let's create this like sort of alt pop, like electronic, like very. I don't know. There's like some garage in there, but I'd say it's like because of the altiness of it and like the electronic, it's like more like a future sound, like a future garage sound. And I kind of mess with it. There's tracks that I like. There's tracks that I'm not very fond of. But for reasons like, and when I say not fond of, I'm not like, oh, I hate it. I just don't like fuck with it as much as I did the last one. So I don't think there's any tracks I completely hate on it. There's some tracks that I love. And I think I have the very same opinion with how the singles completely like went from being like, well, I'm not sure about these singles, but like when they stand out as a fully, like, as a full album, it like changed my stance on them a lot. So I think we might have the same there, yeah.
Same, yeah, I would agree with that. I think that's true, and I think like every Lorde album, I think Lorde is really good at making an album that has a theme, and I think it is because she spends so long on her albums, but like tells a very cohesive story and doesn't feel like, oh, I just wrote 11 songs, so I'm just going to put them into a package because I know it'll sell because I'm fucking famous, you know?
Because I'm Lorde.
She puts a lot of thought and effort into it, unlike other artists who definitely do the other thing. But I think that is definitely why I like the singles more now, but the biggest thing with Lorde for me is I have listened to Lorde since Pure Heroine. I think I started listening to her music in like 2015-ish, 2016, like when she became popular essentially. Yeah. And I remember my introduction to Lorde was my high school best friend at the time. We were both like big music fans, and we were sitting in the cafeteria eating lunch, and she was like, have you heard this song? Have you heard this album? And she shows me Pure Heroine, and I was like, no, I've never heard of this person in my life. And I listened to it, and I was like, oh my god, this is incredible. And I listened to Melodrama the day it came out with my best friends, and I'm no longer friends with any of those people, but like I think because I feel like I have listened to Lorde's music since she started as an artist especially, but I have grown up with her. And when she released Solar Power, I really, really liked the theming of the album because it was like, oh, I've been through all this shit as a kid in Pure Heroine and Melodrama. But look, now I'm really happy. I live my life. I'm peaceful. And I feel like all the shit I've been through was for something. And at that point in my life when Solar Power came out, I was also very happy, and I felt like everything was working out in my life. And then she released Virgin, which definitely doesn't have the same like, oh my god, I'm so happy vibe as Solar Power, but it has the vibe that says, I thought everything was perfect back in 2021.
Yeah.
But that's not actually what life is about. It's about like some kind of roller coaster. And I think that she captures that like message very well in the album, that you can think that you have everything figured out, but there's always going to be shit that happens to you. There's always going to be things that you're going through. There's always going to be things that other people are going through. And it's kind of like when you listen to that album, I feel like I'm in that place in my life as well. Like I have gone through shit now that I thought back in the day I was like, there's never a point where things just stop. And I think it's important, and I think the album tells that message very well. And I think the first track, Hammer, which was the third single, is really good at like introducing that, to get into the tracks a little bit, but just like she just talks about her life, I guess, in the song, and what she does and living in New York and everything else. Like I think she says in the chorus in Hammer, sorry, I was just looking for the exact wording, but she says, I might have been born again. I'm ready to feel like I don't have the answers. Because in Solar Power, she gave off this message of, like, I have been through everything, and now I'm, like, this Jesus person, right? Who, like, can, like, be a guiding soldier and do everything because everything's figured out. But she has kind of come away from that in Version. Anyway, that was really long to say something very small, but I really like the album. I think if I had to rank this album against her other albums like you did, Jack, I think Melodrama is probably... I don't know. It's really hard. Because I like all of her...
Yeah, well...
I can't give them a ranking.
The reason I didn't put Pure Heroine in it, I cannot speak, in it, is because, like, I think it's, like, really... Like, it's been 12 years since that album, and I think, like, it's really hard to, like, take that and then go up to, like, Melodrama and be like, these two are the same things, like, and coming from the same place. I think the reason that's why I chose, like, Melodrama and Solar Power is because they're the most recent, like, things, but because I don't know, like, where it would place out of, like, all 4 albums. Well,
and they're so different.
They are, and, like, but that's also, like, I guess what is the good thing about it, but, like, it's hard to rank them because they are so different. I think just more out of, like, my personal taste within the last, like, sort of, like, 3 releases, like, that's how it stands. But there's, like, parts on Solar Power that I, like, mess with so much more than, like, in Virgin, and there's, like, tracks where I'm like, I like the track, like, the sound cohesively more on, like, Virgin than I did with, like, Solar Power, or I just think there's, like, so much to go between the different ones that it's, like, really hard to rank them,
it's
and because
hard.
it's so different, it's hard to like be so secure in that. I just know that, like, the albums came at, like the previous albums came at, like, really important times in my life, and where Virgins came at the minute, like, I don't feel like there's like, there is stuff going on where I'm like, okay, well, this is, like, really nice to listen to and, like, take stuff from it, but I don't think I've given it enough space yet to, like, actually, like, dictate how I feel, or how I, like, I've not given enough space to, like, dictate, like, the space and time that I'm in right now. So, like, it's not, like, had that effect on me other than, like the previous albums did at that point. So, like, give it maybe, like, a little bit more time to sit and maybe connect more with, like, little things going on in life, and I think maybe I'll have a different answer for you. But I mean, it's fair to not, like, know, or, like, not thingy and ranking, because it's hard.
And I do think that each of Lorde's albums were almost perfect for the moment that they lived in. But, like, I look back at Solar Power and I think it was really great when it came out in that moment for me, but I don't think listening to it now hits very hard. Whereas, like, Virgin is, like, better in that sense. But it's hard because I think if 3 years ago I heard Virgin and Solar Power, I think I maybe would like Solar Power better. So it's hard to say. Anyway, I think we should talk about our favorite tracks and perhaps our least favorite tracks. Do you want to go first? Do you have a favorite track on the album or tracks?
I have a couple, yeah. I again, like, I don't think there's any tracks that I hate. So it was, like, more of just if I had to pick tracks that I like more than everything else, because everything sounds really nice, and it's I believe it's Jim Estack that's working, and it's they've done work with, like, Bon Iver and Bonaver, and I can never pronounce that person's name, and Caroline Polachek, and you can like hear like inspirations throughout, which is nice, and it's like a different sound, and that's I do mess with it, and I think maybe tracks like, probably like Shapeshifter, Man of the Year. Man of the Year grew on me so much. I didn't like it as much, but now it's like a cohesive thing. I really like it. Favorite Daughter and Clear Blue, but I think Clear Blue massively just because of the sound of it, because of like the work from
I knew you
Jim,
were gonna like that,
and it's just very like Bond-esque. But I think that's the ones that I'd have to say. Favorite Daughter like hits, and it's like it's just a stunning track. I don't want to pick any more because I'm being greedy, but there's four tracks that are banging. My note overall with the length and like the tracks that we have is I just wish we had a little bit more to like flesh it out and like just hear a bit more of like what's going on. And I'm a bit worried that we're gonna maybe end up down the same route and get like a deluxe in some way. Just the way the
I
industry's
think we
going.
will get a deluxe. I think we will get a deluxe.
Stop this industry. Just let us.
There's 4 songs listed on Genius.
Okay. Right, okay.
3 songs listed as unreleased on Genius. Trying, Magnetic, and River.
Okay. So we probably
and then there's also yeah, I think those are the 3 that might be deluxe albums. There's a few other songs here, but anyway. So I think we will get a deluxe, but again, we've talked about this on the podcast before, but I agree. 11 tracks is short, but it's okay. I'm not one to complain. At least it's new music.
That's true, and she does like as well get everything across, right? Like the title obviously is like Virgin, but it's more of like just describing like a new way of looking at our prior experiences and like just exploring the whole like innocence of it and like the hunger for experience. And it's like what is like explained and what is spoke about like EDs, like trigger warnings and stuff, and it's really blunt, and it's like there's parts where it's like you can tell the indecisiveness and like the just the like I guess like the Virgin way of thinking in terms of like being so new to these concepts, and like you can tell that with like there's certain like lyrics that obviously are very like contradictive, and not maybe contradictive but like really like, there's questioning in there, and it's like I don't know, I just think it's really like aware of what it's trying to be, and that's done really well. I just don't know how it could be now that it's like that's what we've been given. I never understand sometimes how deluxes make sense, because it doesn't like if they were that important to the story they should have been there initially, but that's just how I feel.
I think we talked about this before. Like a deluxe is fine when it's like this is the package of the album, which I think that this is what the like Virgin feels like, a complete package, like you said. And then a deluxe is like, here's some outtakes that like didn't make the final cut, but like we want you to have. But there's other cases, I think, Good Riddance, like Gracie albums is a good example, but like that you can kind of tell that okay, the deluxe should have been the full album and you just took some songs off to sell a deluxe. And that kind of sucks when people do that, but I don't think this is the case for that. It does suck that it's short, but it's fine. I on your favorite tracks, going back to that, I would agree with you on Favorite Daughter. I really like Favorite Daughter. I think in my first listen through of the album, which is, I was in my childhood bedroom when I first listened to Virgin, which is the same place I first listened to Melodrama and Pure Heroine and not Solar Power. But I think it was really important, and it probably changed my experience of this album. But favorite daughter. I think first listen to was my favorite, especially like being in my childhood bedroom in my parents' house. Like the idea of like trying to always please your mother. It's something that resonates with me a little bit. And then, but I think on like listening to it a lot more between then and now, I think my favorite track on the album is Current Affairs, which is funny because like I think on first listen I was like, I don't like this song, like it's about cheating, and that doesn't resonate with me. But I really like the sound. I really like the slow start, and then like the chorus. I don't know, it's not a typical song I would really like, but I really like it for some reason. And I think also, like, we're not going to talk about it to an extent on this album, but reading about things after about how, like, what this song is about, I think that made me like it more because it gave me some context to, like, enjoy it off of, whereas, like, I don't know, I've never had an affair, like, I don't, I can't relate to that, but, like...
No, you don't need to. Lorde has...
yeah, Lorde has, like, done it. Kill me. But, yeah, I don't know what about it, but I do really, really like it. And then I think the other track that I would say is my favorite is Broken Glass, which I really like Broken Glass because of the lyricism in it. I think maybe sound-wise it's not fully my favorite on the album, but the lyricism in it is really good. I really like how open Lorde has been specifically in the track in the whole album, but like talking about her eating disorder, and her mental health struggles in this song. I think it was important, and it goes back to the theme I was talking about before, but also just it was something that was very impactful to listen to for me. And so I really liked it.
It's good choices.
Yeah.
It's the like of Broken Glass is so good at the start. I'm like, oh my god, yeah.
So good. Yeah. So good. The other thing I want to say about Lorde in general, I think a lot of people didn't like Solar Power when it first came out, and then they heard it live and they were like, oh my god, I love this album, which I can say I also really liked it live. Lorde, Melodrama's similar. I think Melodrama World Tour is one of like the best concerts I've ever been to. Lorde does an incredible job at portraying her songs live through visuals and her emotions. When she sings her songs on stage, her emotions are so raw, and like feeling that with the other people in the room, it's really special. So I really appreciated that Lorde did her Glastonbury set the day the album came out, and being able to watch it on BBC, like her perform the whole album, every single track live, I think it helped me enjoy the album more than I may have just listening to it, because I do think Lorde's live performances enhance her music, so I'm very thankful that that was a thing, and I think it's super cool for an artist to have their album come out and on the same day play the entire album to an audience. Like, I would have died to be in that audience. Not really interested in going to Glastonbury, to be honest, but like that would have been a cool experience. But it was really nice. It was just a side note I want to mention.
No, it was one of the better like surprise slots. I mean, Lewis Capaldi had one, and I don't listen to Lewis much anymore, but you got a rip. But no, I think it's. I mean, it's not a long album to play through either. Sorry, I need to stop going back at it. But it's it is. I think it gives a better you feel sometimes really disconnected from the story they're trying to tell, because like they just like package it off and sit like okay, well, I'm just like listening to this album 4 months or 3 months after they've 6 months after they finished it, and they're like so disconnected from it, and I'm like now just listening to it as like this lone person.
Mm-hmm.
But like to get to experience sort of like day of with everybody else, hearing it maybe for the first time, like with Lorde there, is like it must have
It's
been
sick.
such like a connecting experience to like fully be like taken by all the emotion and like everything of the album. And like I don't know,
Yeah.
Lorde's like we're gonna see probably Lorde in like another 4 years. And that's fine.
Do something completely different and unexpected. We will see then. Maybe
Yeah.
our perspectives on life will change, and so will hers, and then we'll get a new album just about that, which will be nice.
Maybe it'll be an album about the Music Shack podcast.
Yes,
She
exactly.
sat down. She sits down to listen to this review of Lorde Virgin, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Wow!" And then,
Well, if Lorde is listening, which she definitely isn't, we loved your album and we love you, and you should reach out to us because we love you.
true, come on, you can be the first interview. That'd be crazy.
Yes.
That'd be wild.
Imagine.
Hey guys, we're like this like
Anyway.
100 sub channel, and we've got a Lorde interview. That'd be fucking crazy. Zane Lohu,
Yeah.
we'd be set. But no, let us know how you feel about the album. There's like some drama that could be spoke about, but you know what? I think there's just forget the drama, or like forget all
That's
the
not what
nonsense
this
with it.
podcast's about.
No,
It's
not
about
anymore. We used to be drama
The
frogs.
music. Yeah, we used to be drama frogs, and we
We did.
decided that's not for us. Now we just talk about drama in our DMs. So.
So true. Sucks to be you. She's so good to see you. But yeah, let us know in the comments about your sort of like overall rating. What would you give it overall rating, like number wise, out of 10?
Me? Oh
Yeah.
God, it's so hard. Like, what is a 10 out of 10 album? I don't even think I could think of a 10 out of 10 album.
Debut by Taylor Swift.
Okay, screw you.
That's a 10 out of 10.
I think I would give this album 8.9 out of 10.
Okay.
I don't think it's a 9, but I think it's very close to a 9, so I'll give it that.
I was really strict. I went with a 7.8.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know.
That's low.
But I don't think I could ever
I get
rate,
it.
and I don't think I could ever hold an album at a 10 unless it's Debut by Taylor Swift. But like everything
Yeah,
sits
me
at like
either.
a
I
9.
don't think I'd ever give an album a 10, but
Yeah,
we'll
except
see.
Debut by Taylor
I also
Swift.
think that, like, Virgin is, like, more my sound than yours, maybe. So, makes sense. I don't know. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully, we'll have something new to talk about then. We don't know what. We haven't decided. So, we'll see you next week. We'll be back on a regular schedule. So, keep coming back. Hit subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Join our Discord. All the fun things we tell you every week, you know. You guys know. Maybe you don't if you're new, but head
know
into
now.
the description. It's all there.
Facts. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.